I stopped babysitting my best friend's kids after I found out she told my boyfriend I was cheating just to see if he'd stay loyal. Now she says I ruined her career because she has no childcare, and everyone's calling me selfish. I'm Lila, 28, female. And until 2 months ago, I thought my best friend Harper was the kind of person who'd stand next to me at my wedding, not the kind who'd light a match just to see what burned. We've known each other since high school, survived bad boyfriends, worse haircuts, and a road trip in a car that probably should have been condemned. She's the person who knew my coffee order, the exact song I put on when I was sad, and the one thing I'd never forgive: someone making my partner doubt me. For years, Harper relied on me for babysitting her two kids, Mia, 7, and Lucas, 5. I never minded. Honestly, they felt like family. I was Aunt Lila at birthdays, the emergency contact at school, the one who knew exactly how to get Lucas to stop crying when his blanket was in the wash. Harper's job as a wedding planner was chaotic, so I'd step in whenever she had late events or clients in meltdown mode. I thought it was mutual care, me helping her being my ride or die. Then one random Tuesday, my boyfriend, Noah, 31, came home acting off. Short answers. No smile when I kissed him hello. He finally sat down, stared at the floor, and asked, "Is there something you need to tell me?" I laughed because I thought he was joking. But he wasn't. Harper had apparently pulled him aside after we all had brunch the weekend before and told him she'd heard from someone that I was cheating. She framed it as just looking out for him and testing his loyalty. Literally told him she wanted to see if he'd confront me or walk away. Noah admitted he'd spent the last 3 days replaying every late night I'd had. Every time I didn't answer my phone right away, I could see he was trying to believe me, but the fact that Harper planted the idea at all, it was like she'd drop-kicked my trust straight into traffic. I didn't even text her. I drove straight to her house. She opened the door, smiling like nothing was wrong, wearing pajama pants covered in coffee stains, and asked if I could watch the kids Saturday. I asked why she'd tell Noah I was cheating. Her smile faltered, but she still tried to play it off. "Oh my God, Lila, it was just a joke. I wanted to see if he'd be loyal. He passed, right?" Passed? The man was pacing our apartment, wondering if the last 3 years were a lie. She acted like it was some cute social experiment. I told her she'd officially lost me as a babysitter, a friend, and a human being I could trust. She didn't take it well. She started crying, saying she'd been stressed, that she didn't mean harm. Then she pivoted. Suddenly I was selfish because without me, she'd have to turn down clients. That night, she posted a cryptic Facebook status about fake friends ruining your career out of spite, and apparently told mutual friends I was abandoning her kids. Now people are calling me selfish, telling me I'm punishing innocent children because I can't handle a misunderstanding. Meanwhile, Noah's still working through the fact that someone he saw as part of our inner circle was ready to detonate our relationship just for kicks. And Harper? She's just getting started. After the Facebook post, my phone lit up like a slot machine. Half the messages were from mutual friends wanting to know my side. The other half were from people I barely talked to, lecturing me about how the kids didn't do anything to you. I just kept thinking, exactly, they didn't. Which is why I won't let their mom keep using me as unpaid childcare while she's out setting social fires. 2 days later, I ran into Harper at the grocery store. She was in full performance mode, voice loud enough for everyone in the produce aisle to hear, saying things like, "Oh look, it's the one who abandoned Mia and Lucas when they needed her most." A couple people looked over, and I swear she fed on it. She even reached into her cart, pulled out a pack of the kids' favorite fruit snacks and said, "Guess I'll have to figure out how to get these to them without your help." I walked away. Didn't give her the scene she clearly wanted. But inside, my chest was buzzing with that mix of humiliation and rage that makes you want to throw something heavy. Noah, bless him, was furious on my behalf. He offered to confront her, but I told him that's exactly what she wanted. More drama, more proof that I'm unhinged. We decided to go low contact with everyone connected to her for a while. But Harper wasn't done. That weekend, I got a text from Mia's school. Harper had listed me as the emergency pickup without telling me, and then couldn't make it for dismissal. I showed up because, well, I love those kids. Mia ran into my arms and asked if I was mad forever. My heart cracked in half. When Harper finally showed up, 30 minutes late, she marched right over in front of teachers and parents and said, "Thanks for proving you can still show up when it matters. Maybe next time you won't make it about you." I wanted to scream. She was pulling this in front of her kids, in front of other people's kids. But all I could do was get in my car because anything I said would be twisted into ammo. The next week, mutual friends started telling me Harper was saying I'd snapped and was unstable around the kids, implying that's why I quit babysitting. Which, oh, the irony, meant a few people started acting cagey around me, like I might pull a knife at brunch. Then she crossed the line. She sent me a 3-paragraph text ending with, "If you don't come back to help, I'll have to tell people what I really know about you." No specifics, just vague enough to sound sinister to anyone she repeated it to. Noah thinks she's bluffing. I think she's winding up for something bigger. And the worst part? The kids are caught right in the middle, being used like bargaining chips. I knew then this wasn't just about quitting babysitting anymore. This was about stopping Harper from having that kind of control over me, permanently. It didn't take long for Harper's career crisis to land in my lap. One Thursday morning, I woke up to 8 missed calls and 3 voicemails. The first was her crying. The second was her screaming. The third was her trying to sound calm, saying she just wanted to talk before things got worse. Apparently, she'd had to cancel on a high-profile client, some influencer couple, because she couldn't find last-minute childcare. They posted a rant on Instagram about unprofessional wedding planners, and suddenly Harper's DMs were full of potential clients asking if she was still available for their dates. When she couldn't answer fast enough, 2 brides-to-be dropped her. She called me again, voice sharp like broken glass. "Do you realize what you've done to me? I told you this would happen if you abandoned me." I told her I wasn't her employee or her backup plan. She laughed, a cold, clipped sound, and said, "You just wait. People will know exactly what kind of friend you are." By the weekend, the smear campaign was in full swing. She posted a carousel of memories on Instagram, all photos of me with her kids, captions dripping with passive-aggressive pity. Sad that some people can turn their backs on family just when you need them most. The comments were full of her friends, many of whom I've literally had in my apartment, saying things like, "Some people aren't worth keeping in your circle," and "Those poor kids." The kicker? She tagged me in one of them. She wanted me to see it. Noah wanted me to block her, but I didn't. Not yet. Because the truth was I could already see the cracks forming in her perfect wedding planner image, and I wanted a front row seat. Then came the weirdest escalation yet. I got a knock at my door at 7:30 a.m., 2 police officers. They said someone had called in a concern about a possible altercation between me and Harper at the school pickup the week before. I hadn't so much as raised my voice, but now I had to explain that to strangers with badges while my neighbors peeked through blinds. The officers left after 10 minutes, clearly realizing it was baseless, but the humiliation stuck to me like smoke, and I knew it was her. That night, I sat on the couch staring at my phone, feeling my pulse in my fingertips. This wasn't a misunderstanding anymore. Harper wasn't just trying to guilt me. She was trying to paint me as unstable, maybe even dangerous to keep me in line. That's when the idea started forming. I wasn't going to just defend myself. I was going to make sure the next time she tried to play this game, she'd have to remember exactly how it felt when the match burned her fingers instead. And I had the perfect way to do it. Something that would hurt her in the exact place she thought she was untouchable. Her reputation. Don't forget to subscribe. By this point, I'd stopped reacting to Harper's jabs. Every guilt trip, every fake innocent text, every mutual friend telling me I should apologize, ignored. If she wanted to paint me as some villain, I was going to give her silence. And in that silence, I started working. Harper's wedding planning business wasn't huge, but she'd carved out a niche in our city's upscale market. Her Instagram was her lifeline. Picture-perfect centerpieces, tear-jerker client moments, behind-the-scenes videos showing her orchestrating chaos like a queen. She was obsessive about her brand because every new client came from those curated posts. Here's what she didn't realize. I still had plenty of her clients following me. And I knew, because she used to brag about it, how much she cut corners behind the scenes. Like how she'd recycle floral arrangements from one wedding to the next, or how she'd push couples to hire her preferred vendors because she got kickbacks, not because they were the best. Or that time she left a reception an hour early, claiming an emergency when the truth was she had a date. I didn't even have to fabricate anything. I just had to point people toward the truth. Step 1 was casual, almost innocent. I reached out to one of her recent brides, someone I'd met when I helped Harper set up last year. I just asked how the wedding had gone. Within 10 minutes, the bride was venting about missing decorations, a cake delay, and Harper not answering calls the day of. All things Harper had sworn never happen under her watch. I just listened. And when she said she'd been thinking of posting about it, I told her, honestly, you should. Other couples deserve to know. Step 2 was a little more public. I started sharing old, unfiltered photos from weddings I'd helped with, ones where you could see the mess behind the scenes. Nothing malicious, just raw reality. The kind of thing that doesn't match the perfect brand she'd built. Brides talk, vendors talk, and soon, I could tell the ripples were reaching her. The first crack came when Harper DM'd me. Not sure why you're suddenly posting this stuff, but people are asking questions. I didn't reply. And then she broke her own rule. She called me. No text filter, no curated tone. Just Harper, breathing hard, voice shaking. You're ruining me. I have 2 kids to feed. Is this really about one stupid misunderstanding? I almost laughed. One misunderstanding that nearly tanked my relationship, sent cops to my door, and had people whispering about me like I was dangerous. But instead of answering, I just said, imagine if people believed lies about you, Harper. Imagine if you couldn't undo it. And I hung up. That was the night she went nuclear. At 11:43 p.m., she posted a full-on meltdown on her Instagram stories, crying, swearing, claiming I'd been harassing her clients, telling people she was considering legal action. I screenshotted everything. And so did several people who sent it to me within minutes, adding, she's lost it. It was working. The calm, perfect wedding planner mask was slipping in real time, and everyone was watching. Update. Wow, I did not expect this to blow up the way it has. I posted my original story thinking maybe a few people would weigh in, maybe tell me I wasn't crazy for cutting Harper off. Instead, I've been drowning in messages, DMs, and comments, some supportive, some unhinged. First, to the people saying, just ignore her and move on. I get it. I really do. That was my plan at the start. But when someone actively tries to wreck your relationship, weaponizes their kids against you, and calls the police with a made-up story, you hit a point where you realize moving on is just giving them permission to keep doing it to you and to others. Also, some of y'all have interesting suggestions. One top comment literally said, get a smoke machine and release it during her next wedding ceremony. Tempting, but my revenge budget doesn't include pyrotechnics. Someone else suggested I send her clients the raw security footage from the time she dropped a wedding cake in the parking lot and tried to reassemble it with buttercream-like spackle. I am absolutely not saying I would do that. But also, I still have the video. To clear up a few questions. No, Noah and I are not breaking up over this. If anything, Harper's stunt made us more solid. He's been my sounding board through every step of this mess. Yes, I still love her kids. I hate that they're caught in the crossfire, but I'm not willing to be emotionally blackmailed into babysitting again. And yes, Harper is very aware of this post. She texted me a screenshot with the words, defamation lawsuit, in all caps. I sent back a smiley face. The fallout so far? 3 more of her clients have either canceled or postponed indefinitely. A vendor she used to work with messaged me privately to say they're no longer recommending her because her drama is bleeding into business. And the influencer couple who complained about her? Their rant is now pinned on their page. You cannot buy that kind of bad PR. The wildest thing, though, is watching her try to spin this. She's now telling people I'm obsessed with her and can't stand to see her succeed. Which, if this is what success looks like, I'll pass. Oh, and for those wondering if I have an endgame, yes. The seeds are planted, and she's about to trip over her own lies in the most public, reputation-shattering way possible. Stay tuned. The opportunity dropped right into my lap. like the universe had decided it was time to hand me the match. One of Harper's remaining big clients, a local boutique hotel, was hosting a high-profile charity gala. Harper was in charge of coordinating everything, from the decor to the timeline. And here's the kicker. The hotel's events manager, Claire, is someone I went to college with. We weren't close, but we'd kept up enough on social media to exchange likes here and there. Claire reached out to me the week before the gala with a casual message. "Hey, weird question. Didn't you used to work with Harper? We're getting some conflicting stories from her about past events." I didn't jump in with accusations. I just told Claire to ask for written confirmation of everything. Delivery schedules, vendor agreements, all of it. Because I knew Harper's fatal flaw, she never put anything in writing if she could get away with verbal promises. Sure enough, 2 days later, Claire messaged me again. She's panicking. We've already had 2 vendors call us directly because they haven't heard from her. And that's when I played my card. I sent Claire a neat little package of professional context, screenshots of Harper bragging about double-booking florists, a client email chain where she claimed a no-show was traffic when she'd actually forgotten to confirm, and yes, the infamous wedding cake parking lot reconstruction video. I didn't tell Claire what to do with it. I didn't have to. The night of the gala, Noah and I went as guests. We'd bought tickets weeks earlier through one of his work connections. Harper spotted me from across the room, froze, and then plastered on that sugary sweet smile she uses when she's seething inside. She didn't come over, though. She couldn't. Because by then, her meltdown was already in motion. First, the floral arrangements arrived missing entire centerpieces. Then, the catering was late because Harper had given them the wrong start time. The event's MC had to ad-lib for 45 minutes while Harper disappeared behind the service doors, trying to make frantic phone calls. And then Claire got up to make her welcome speech. She didn't name names, but she very pointedly thanked the hotel staff and volunteer coordinators for stepping in to handle last-minute gaps in planning. The audience clapped politely. Harper's face looked like she'd swallowed a lemon whole. By the end of the night, Claire had personally taken over the timeline. The vendors were ignoring Harper entirely, and I overheard 2 board members whispering about never working with her again. The next morning, Harper's Instagram went from its usual flood of curated perfection to complete silence. No recap, no client tag, nothing. Later that week, I heard from a mutual friend that the hotel had decided not to pay her the final installment of her fee, citing breach of contract. And because she'd already put down deposits she couldn't recover, she was now out money on the event. It was poetic. I hadn't lied, I hadn't touched a thing. I just let the truth in the right hands do what it always does. And Harper? She finally stopped calling me selfish. She had bigger problems now. For about a week after the gala, it was blissfully quiet. No cryptic posts, no surprise cops at my door, no passive-aggressive jabs in public. I thought maybe Harper had finally decided to lick her wounds in private. Then my phone started pinging again. First, it was a DM from an old high school friend. "Hey, Harper's saying you're stealing her clients now?" Then another. "Did you really threaten her kids?" And my personal favorite. "Why is she posting your address?" Yep. She'd gone full scorched earth. Harper had decided that if she couldn't salvage her business, she'd drag me down with her. She started posting vague but pointed warnings about me in local Facebook groups, calling me unstable, vindictive, and dangerous around children. She never used my last name, but between the mutual friends, the photos she'd tagged in the past, and the fact that she straight up posted a blurry shot of my building, it wasn't exactly a mystery. I called Noah at work, shaking with that hot, nauseous anger that makes it hard to see straight. He came home early, sat me down, and said the magic words. "If she wants a war, let's win it legally." We filed a police report for harassment and doxing that same afternoon. And while I knew it wouldn't magically fix everything overnight, it gave me something to hold on to. A paper trail. But Harper wasn't done. 2 nights later, I was taking out the trash when I noticed the side of my car. Deep, jagged scratches running the length of the driver's door, like someone had gone at it with a key. Security cameras in our lot caught exactly what I suspected. Harper, hood up, moving fast, but not fast enough to hide the fact that she was wearing the exact same shoes she'd worn to the gala. That was my breaking point. The next morning, my lawyer cousin helped me draft a cease and desist that outlined every single documented thing Harper had done in the past month. False police calls, harassment, defamation, vandalism. We sent it by certified mail and email. We also sent copies to 3 of her remaining vendors, purely for their awareness, since she'd been dragging my name through their circles. The fallout was instant. One vendor publicly announced they were cutting ties with her due to recent unprofessional conduct. Another bride she was working with backed out entirely, posting in a local wedding group about safety concerns. And Harper? She responded with a text that was just 6 words long. "You'll regret this, I promise you." But here's the thing. By now, I didn't feel scared. I felt ready. Because I still had one last card to play. One that would make every whisper she'd spread about me look like a bad joke in comparison. Update 2. Well, Harper finally crossed the finish line from petty ex-friend to walking cautionary tale. Since my last post, the doxing and the car keying actually helped my case more than hurt it. The police already had the footage, and my cousin, bless her scary lawyer energy, filed for a restraining order. It hasn't gone through yet, but Harper was served with the paperwork last week. Apparently, she didn't take it well. According to a mutual acquaintance, she threw her phone across the room and started screaming about losing everything because of Lila. A lot of you messaged me asking how Noah's holding up in all this. Short answer? Like a champ. The man went from doubting me for half a second at the start of all this to being my full-on co-pilot in the Revenge Mobile. When Harper posted my building online, he's the one who called our landlord and had the locks changed that night. He's also the one who suggested we send the certified cease and desist to her vendors, which, judging by her meltdown, was basically pouring salt into an open wound. I've also been seeing some wild takes in the comments. One person suggested I dress up as a wedding guest, crash her next event, and make a toast about honesty. Another told me to put a "going out of business" sign on her office door. I appreciate the creativity, but honestly, I don't need to add any theatrics at this point. She's doing my work for me by imploding in public. The big thing now is the shift in how people are talking about her. When this all started, I was selfish Lila who abandoned her best friend's kids. Now, I'm the one Harper shouldn't have messed with. People are straight up sending me screenshots of her trying to get sympathy in group chats, and the replies are brutal. One bride literally responded, "Girl, maybe don't trash the one person who helped you for free for years." As for the final move I mentioned last time, it's in motion. All I'll say for now is that it's 100% legal, requires 0 lies, and will make sure she can never operate in this city's wedding industry again without people remembering exactly who she is and what she did. The next time I update, it's going to be the end game. And to the commenter who said, "If this was a movie, you'd be at the part where the music slows down before the drop." Yeah, that's exactly where we are. Don't forget to subscribe. The final move was set in motion on a Tuesday morning, over coffee, with Noah grinning like he'd just hacked the Matrix. We were scrolling through a local events forum when I noticed a pinned thread. Vendor Review Master List. Share your experience. It was basically a running public record of vendors in the wedding industry. Photographers, florists, venues, planners. And yes, wedding planners had their own section. The thing about this thread? Once you post, you can't edit or delete it. It's permanent. I'd been sitting on a folder of evidence for weeks. Emails from brides she ghosted, screenshots of her trashing clients behind their backs, the cake incident video, the doxing screenshots, even the police report number. None of it was exaggerated. All of it was documented. So I compiled it into one clear, chronological post. How she lied to Noah about me cheating as a loyalty test. How she retaliated when I quit babysitting. The fake police call, the vandalism, the doxing. And, crucially, multiple first-hand accounts from her own clients and vendors, with receipts. No insults, no name-calling. Just facts. Cold, verifiable facts. I posted it under my own name. No hiding. And then I logged off. By that evening, my phone was vibrating nonstop. People were sharing the post in local Facebook groups. 2 separate vendors messaged me, thanking me for finally saying out loud what everyone had whispered for years. One bride DM'd me to say she'd fired Harper that day and booked someone else, and another said she was relieved she saw my post before signing a contract. By the end of the week, Harper's name was buried under a mountain of one-star reviews on every platform she used. The influencer couple pinned their original rant again and tagged it with my post. A DJ she used to work with dropped a comment. If you know, you know. Harper's response was predictable. A long, rambling Instagram story about haters and jealousy, claiming the whole thing was a smear campaign. But the screenshots didn't lie, and the comments under her post were not on her side anymore. The tide had turned. The cherry on top? Claire from the hotel, the one who'd seen the gala disaster firsthand, messaged me to say Harper had been removed from their preferred vendor list and from 2 other venues in the city. She was effectively blacklisted from every high-dollar wedding gig in town. I didn't feel giddy. I didn't even feel triumphant. What I felt was done. The kind of done where you can finally exhale after holding your breath for too long. Noah and I went out for dinner that night. Halfway through my wine, I realized it was the first time in months I'd gone a full day without thinking about Harper. She'd wanted to test loyalty. Turns out, she failed her own test spectacularly. It's been 3 weeks since I posted that review thread, and the storm has officially passed. Harper's business page is still up, but it's a ghost town. No new posts, no new client photos, and the upcoming events section is blank. The last thing she shared publicly was a cryptic quote about starting fresh and knowing who your real friends are. But everyone in our circle knows starting fresh is code for starting over somewhere no one knows what you did. Mutual friends have gone quiet. Some unfollowed me after the first wave, but a surprising number reached out privately to apologize for believing her at the start. One even admitted, "She's been like this since we were kids. You just didn't see it because she never turned it on you before." Noah and I are good. Better than good, actually. There's a strange intimacy that comes from weathering a storm like this together, like we've been battle-tested. He still jokes about the loyalty test thing sometimes, usually when he's handing me coffee. Careful, I didn't poison it, but you'll never know until you drink it. As for the kids, that's the one part that still stings. I haven't seen Mia or Lucas since the school pickup incident. I hate that Harper used them as pawns, and I know someday they'll be old enough to realize what happened. When they are, I'll be here if they want to reach out. But for now, I have to accept that loving them doesn't mean subjecting myself to their mother's chaos. Looking back, I think what hurts the most isn't the false accusations or the vandalism. It's the realization that the person I thought was my ride or die was never actually on my team. She saw me as a resource, not a friend. And the second I stopped being useful, she tried to burn me down. But here's the thing about people who thrive on chaos. They're predictable. They'll always think the mess they make can be swept under the rug because no one will stick around long enough to call them out. I did. And I did it with receipts. I'm not proud of every moment. I'm not pretending I didn't enjoy watching her facade crack, but I am proud that I never stooped to lying, to inventing stories, to playing her game. I just put her truth in the spotlight she'd been using to blind everyone else. Now my world is quieter. Smaller, maybe. But every person left in it? They're here because they want to be, not because I'm convenient. And that's worth more than all the babysitting hours in the world.